Welcome everyone to Draw My Life. For PowBlock, I decided to do it differently this time. So I hope you guys, compared to all the millions of videos that are out there right now, I decided to do my own version of it. So hope you guys enjoy the video. I was born October 8th, 1993, here in the city of Detroit, Michigan, and I always lived in Michigan for all my life. And I never visited any other states outside of Michigan, outside of the state of Michigan. And the only time I really, you know, moved, came out of state was, left the state was just to visit family in Canada. And I have folks and relatives that live in Canada, and sometimes I visit them, sometimes they visit me, and basically I always been here, Michigan for most of my life, going to school and everything, living with my family and relatives here in the state and all over for different cities. They're not in the same city as me, but they're all, they're in the same state with me, so they're just reside in different cities and all. I first started out on the Sega Genesis, and the Sega Genesis was my very first system, my very first game system that I started on. Um, it's when I first got into video games. I was 7 years old when I first started playing video games for the first time. My very first game was Sonic 2, and I owned several Sega Genesis games with the console. Games like Sonic 2, uh, Streets of Rage, Road Rash 3D, Beavis and Butthead, Vector Man, NHL 93, and many more games. But I first started out on the Sega Genesis, and that's when I first got into video games for the very first time. I then got addicted. I eventually became addicted to playing video games, and it became a big part of my life, and it became not only just Hollywood. I was just so addicted. I just didn't want to go a day without playing video games. So it was just like a big part of my daily routine. I just couldn't go a day without playing video games. So I eventually went to elementary school. I eventually attended elementary school, and my grades were bad. I ended up becoming so addicted to video games to the point where they got in the way of my schoolwork, and I eventually started lying to my parents about not having homework, to the point where it got me in trouble. I ended up losing my games. I lost my games, and my Sega Genesis was taken away from me, and to the point where I had to focus on school, start doing my homework. And I was just so addicted to video games to the point where I had to repeat the fourth grade, and to be honest, and I'll never forget it. Video games just hindered me so badly, and affected me to the point where it affected my school, my schoolwork, and just having to complete assignments, do projects and everything. But I was just so addicted to video games. I really loved them. I just couldn't go a day without playing them, and it was just like the games were calling to me. I just could not, go a day without playing them. I just always had to play. I always wanted to finish. Some games I tried to beat, like Sonic 2. It was a very tough game. Trying to get through the game, and I just had so much fun playing video games, and it eventually affected me negatively in a negative manner. It got in the way of my schoolwork and everything. So once I eventually started to focus on my schoolwork and everything, I passed the fourth grade and went on to the fifth grade, and so on and so forth. Went on to middle school and high school, and went on to college. And I graduated from high school and middle school, and I started getting good grades, and I eventually became like an honor roll student, maintaining good grades. I was a Levy leader because I attended Levy Middle School, and then I moved to a different city, and finished high school that way and ended up graduating. I was an A and B student, and I maintained a good GPA throughout my high school career, and that's when I decided to put the video games down. It's not that I stopped playing them; it's just that I didn't want them to get in the way of my schoolwork. So I decided to focus on my schoolwork, on my assignments. I managed to get good grades and keep the good grades up. And then during my spare time, when I didn't have homework or any sort of projects or any sort of exams coming up, I eventually started to I would play the video games. I would go back to play video games, and that's when game systems like the Sony PlayStation 2 started to come out, and then other consoles, the GameCube, Nintendo 64, the Wii, the PS2, the PS3, Xbox 360, and that's when I started really getting into games, and that's when my love for video games really started, because it was basically all I did for my my spare time for hobbies, when I was on summer vacation and everything like that. And then I got to the point in my life where I was so undecided. Once I graduated from high school, I was so undecided of what I wanted to do. Um, I was so undecided, and I thought I wanted to be a dentist when I was growing up. When I went to get my teeth checked out and stuff, and I saw how much money dentists would make, and I thought it would be pretty cool to make, become a dentist, and I thought it was something I wanted to do. But I eventually had a change of heart, and I thought that since I play video games so much, why not do something with video games? Try to make something out of video games, something that since I loved it so much and I had such a passion and dedication of playing them each and every day, so I was always undecided of what I wanted to do. So it just left me thinking. So I eventually went on to think about some other things, what I could do with gaming. So that's when I eventually discovered YouTube. So I discovered YouTube in 2009, and I started watching videos. I loved YouTube, and I noticed most people were playing video games on YouTube. I used to watch Call of Duty videos all the time on YouTube, and all sorts of different games, just to see what games would come out. And YouTube also became a part of how I spend my days. Not only just playing video games, but I also spent time watching videos of upcoming games that I wanted to see, game trailers, gameplay videos to see how the game would be like, see if the game was any good, and things like that. And as I continued to watch YouTube, I eventually discovered a specific YouTuber known as Darkside Phil, and well, aka DSP Gaming. So as I watched him, I discovered him in 2009, and my very first video I saw of him was his Modern Warfare 2 videos. And as I watched him, he made the YouTube experience, making videos for YouTube, so entertaining. His videos were entertaining. He was funny. He was an honest, legit person. He was real. He wasn't afraid to say whatever he wanted to say, and he wasn't afraid to speak his mind. And I not only liked him as a person, but I loved his videos as a YouTuber. He was he made lots of videos, lots of multiple videos of him, cooking with the king, game reviews, which is now known as the Hateful Truth videos, which I also enjoy because they're honest and they're legit, and he gives out the positives and negatives of his video of the game, and then a fair, honest score at the end as a fair review. And the more I watch Darkside Phil's videos, the more I fell in love with YouTube, and that's when my love for YouTube started, because I was inspired by DSP Gaming, and the more as I watched him, the more I watched his videos, I eventually got decided to get some merchandise for him, and I also got the more I watched his videos, I decided to eventually buy some of his merchandise, as you guys can probably see from the t-shirts here. So that's just one of the two. Those are just one of the two t-shirts that I have, and I'm also wearing one for the video, and some other things as well that I decided to get. So I eventually became a big fan of his, and I was inspired by him. He still makes videos today, and he pretty much that's when I decided to get into YouTube. I never had an account, so I eventually, since I was inspired by him, I eventually decided to make my own channel name. I came up with the name PowBlock from Mario, and just being a big Mario fan, a fan of Mario and everything like that. I just decided to make my own YouTube account. I wasn't subscribed to Darkside Phil, or aka DSP Gaming's videos, but I always watched his videos 24/7 each and every day whenever I could. And I eventually, although I wasn't subscribed, I always still watched his videos as a viewer. Whatever he uploaded, whether it was a vlog video, a gameplay video, or maybe just a hateful truth video, or just like a game review or some sort, whatever video that he uploaded, I eventually started watching, and that's when I eventually made my own account, and that's how I came up with the name PowBlock, and as a Mario fan, I came up with the name. I wanted to come up with like a YouTube username that no one else has, something different, something gaming related, and I thought I wanted to be like, just related to like a power up or something, a power up that you get from a video game. So that's the kind of things I was thinking about when I was trying to come up with like a YouTube username. But then that's when I came up with this name PowBlock, and I knew I wanted to do a gaming channel because I was inspired by him to make a gaming channel because he made it look so fun. He made the experience so much fun. He made it entertaining, and he just made it seem like a lot of fun. And he definitely got me into it. But um, outside of that, I wanted to share my love for video games because, as you guys can probably see in the background of my video and with the posters, just a couple posters in the background. That's how much I love video games. So some of my favorite characters, some of my favorite games, gaming companies like Rockstar, Sega, NIS America, uh, many others, Nintendo, uh, and also Namco, Bandai Namco, and all those sorts of gaming companies. So I eventually wanted to start I started making videos just because I wanted to show my experience, share my experience and love for video games, and that's when I really fell in love with YouTube, and that's when I started taking it seriously. I decided to take it seriously. I just was so undecided what I wanted to do with my life, but ever since I started making videos and on my channel, and I eventually got good at it. I was nervous in front of the camera, and I just always started. As I uploaded more videos, I got better at it, and it's definitely something I want to do in my life. It's something I'm chasing, and I feel like each time I upload a video, whether I'm recording and just this video outside of the others, just over 2,000 videos on my channel, and in total, I feel like each time that I'm recording a video, or maybe I'm just coming up with a different idea what I want to do for a video, whatever I want to upload, I feel like I'm chasing a dream. I feel like I'm following my dreams by doing this. So this has definitely been my life, and YouTube is a big part of my life. YouTube is my life, and I never want to give this up for anything, regardless of what anyone says and what anyone thinks about me, of my videos. Whether it's negativity towards me, hatred towards me, or anything. I'm not gonna let anything stop me, and that's basically my life. This is my draw. This is my version of drawing my life, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I did it differently. It's not a sped up version. I decided to talk about it, with some silly drawings. I know they're ugly, horrible drawings, but I wanted to share my experience with you guys, and some things are part of my life and everything, just so you guys can get to know me better. And I wanted to share those things with you. So I'm still gonna continue to do this, and even though this is a draw my life video, this doing this is my life, and this is what I love to do more than anything. So regardless of what anyone says, I still remain positive. Uh, I'm still inspired. This is still my favorite YouTuber, regardless, and I'm a still big fan of his, and I watch him each and every day whenever I can, when I'm not making videos, or whenever I feel like getting on YouTube. So it's been a part of my life. This is PowBlock's version of Draw My Life. Thank you guys for watching. I just try to make it as short as sweet, and as short as possible for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. This is Draw My Life from PowBlock. Yours truly, and see you guys.